Berlin, 1985. A commuter train slows to a stop. Wolfgang Templin steps onto the platform. In his hand was a crumpled piece of paper. He drops it into a trash bin without looking back. 3 seconds later, a stranger retrieves it. The stranger isn't curious. He's being paid. He works for the most invasive secret police force ever created, the Stasi. This single discarded note is just one entry in Templin's surveillance file. A file that will eventually span 12,000 pages. His crime? Talking about human rights. October 7, 1949. The German Democratic Republic, East Germany, was born under Soviet watch. The promise, a workers' paradise. The reality, a one-party dictatorship, where dissent means danger. Thousands flee westward. The Soviet leadership worries. Joseph Stalin himself questions whether Germans so recently under Nazi rule can be trusted with socialism. The GDR's leaders need to prove their control is absolute. Enter Erich Mielke. Mielke's story begins in the working-class streets of Berlin. At 14, he joined the Communist Party. By his 20s, he's fighting fascists in street brawls. In 1931, he murdered 2 police officers in cold blood to demonstrate his revolutionary commitment. Wanted for murder, he escapes to Moscow. There, he trains under Stalin's intelligence apparatus, learning the art of paranoia, manipulation, and control. In 1957, Mielke returned to East Germany as Minister for State Security. He takes command of the Stasi. His vision? Transform the secret police into something indispensable. Something so woven into the fabric of society that the state cannot function without it. The Stasi becomes the shield and sword of the Communist Party. At first, the Stasi operates like most authoritarian security forces. Arrests, show trials, executions. But public brutality damages East Germany's international image. So Mielke evolves the strategy. Silence, shadows, psychology. By the 1980s, the machine was fully operational. East Germany, 16 million people, Stasi officers, 102,000 full-time employees. That's one officer for every 156 citizens. Add the unofficial informants, neighbors, co-workers, friends, and the ratio becomes 1 spy for every 53 people. The Stasi opens mail in secret facilities, steaming open thousands of letters daily, then resealing them without a trace. They tap phone lines through a department staffed by over 1,000 specialists. Engineers design cameras hidden in coat buttons, microphones disguised as sugar cubes, briefcases that record conversations. Agents break into homes, while residents are away, not to steal, but to install bugs. Sometimes they rearrange furniture, shift a clock, move a picture frame, just enough to make someone wonder, did I do that? Am I losing my mind? They collect scent samples from underwear, pillowcases, and store them in glass jars. Tracking dogs are trained to hunt people by smell alone. In extreme cases, they dust targets with radioactive powder. Agents follow them with Geiger counters. But the goal isn't always arrest. It's something far more insidious. The Stasi has a name for their most sophisticated weapon, Zersetzung. It means decomposition. The objective is not imprisonment, it's obliteration. Destroy someone's reputation, sabotage their career, turn friends into strangers, spread lies, plant doubt, erode their sanity, break them without leaving evidence. Wolfgang Templin experiences this firsthand. Fake orders arrive at his apartment, luxury cars, expensive electronics, bizarre items like crates of condoms and live chickens. Angry vendors pound on his door, demanding payment for things he never ordered. His phone rings at 3 a.m., silence on the other end. Mail goes missing. Bank statements are altered. 10 agents follow him daily. They know where he buys his bread. They know which cafe he prefers. They read his letters before he does. They infiltrate his social circle. Friends begin acting strangely. Conversations feel off. The Stasi deploys Romeo agents, trained seducers tasked with breaking up marriages and extracting secrets. The pressure mounts. Eventually, Templin and his wife are arrested. They're forced into temporary exile in West Germany. Their children are taken into state custody. The Stasi doesn't need to put Templin in a cell. They've already dismantled his life. 1989. The weight of surveillance can no longer hold the system together. Across East Germany, protests erupt. The regime cracks. November 9, 1989. The Berlin Wall falls. Wolfgang Templin returns home. After reunification, millions of former East Germans requested their Stasi files. What they discover is worse than surveillance. Friends had informed them. Colleagues had reported their conversations. In some cases, even spouses had filed reports. The greatest damage isn't the data collected, it's the destruction of trust. An entire society learns to suspect everyone. Germany today has some of the strictest privacy laws in the world, forged in the memory of this nightmare. Erich Mielke lives to see the fall of the state he helped build. He's eventually imprisoned, but not for running the Stasi, only for the 2 police officers he murdered in 1931. He died in 2000. Shortly after his burial, vandals destroyed his grave.